Everything looks great. It looks fantastic, Casey. My goodness. It's like, huh?
Live and in color.
Live it in color, if you
It's
will.
Sunday
Hi, everybody.
night. Oh, sorry.
We are indeed live with another episode of the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast. I'm Kevin Kelly, and the gentleman that you see over there sitting in front of a beautiful array of championship gold, that's none other than Casey Thompson. He came up with the idea for this deal. He said, let's talk about some people that don't get enough credit for their work in the industry, and we're going to do that prominently here this week. But Casey, how's everything going? Any new additions to the collection, to the family?
No. Yes, but no. I was supposed to have a delivery yesterday, and I guess because we're in the holiday season and whatnot, it was a little delayed, and it just kept on saying, received by 9 p.m., received by 9 p.m. I'm like, well, it's like midnight already. And then all of a sudden it said, Monday by 5 o'clock. So it's sitting in Orlando, so eventually it'll make out to me. I have that it has the Texas Heavyweight Championship. It looks like the big Texas map and all big chrome nickel-plated belt. I have that, and I have a few surprises I'm working on. I'm always got something in the back pocket working on trying to add to the collection.
You know? Always got something going on. That's what we love. That's why it's an exciting time. I wonder if it's the same Texas heavyweight title that Dr. Tom has one of.
Oh,
and
I'm sure it may be.
And I've seen that one. It's a beauty.
Okay.
It is a beauty. The title lineage goes all the way back to like the 1940s and or late 30s and held by a lot of prominent guys. Johnny Valentine held it a bunch, and so just top stars of that era. But it's impressive. That collection continues to grow. It looks better week by week.
Oh, it's just so much fun. Even just sitting back when I'm just hanging out, relaxing. I'll throw some YouTube on. Watch some videos learn about the championships. Help me learn more of the history of the business. I was watching a podcast last night with Dan Lambert was the guest on it. I don't know the podcast. Sorry, I don't remember your podcast, but I know Dan Lambert was on it. He probably has the largest in-ring use of wrestling belts in the history of anyone, and he's also the owner of American Top Team, where they've had all the great stars. King Mo, they had Amanda Nunes, they had they have the women's champions there right now. They have everyone that's been through there, and that's where my son, through one of the head wrestling coaches there, Olympian and two-time Division I national champion Steve Mako. He was one of my son's coaches, and we were there many times during the week. And
so basically Dan Lambert books the finishes, right, for this American Top Team. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he's the money man behind it all.
He's got an impressive array, and you saw some of this displayed on this podcast.
Yeah, but the thing is he just kept on getting up, walking away, and sitting down and showing the belts.
Nice.
And not only they're all legitimate, like mine are all replica belts, bootleg, whatever you want. I don't really care. It looks like the real deal to me, so that's all that matters.
Sure.
Wrestling's always been an illusion my whole life, and so the illusion. So it is what it is. But Dan Lambert has all the real ones, and the interesting thing about it was when he was telling about it, each belt that he has usually has a story how the person got the belt. In one of the belts, I want to say it might have been one of the world class, I think it was the world class championship belt. Who do you say? Bobby, not Bobby. One of the Fantastics.
Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers?
Bobby Fulton was leaving the territory, was mad about his pay. The champion was in the shower, and Bobby's like, oh, look at that big old shiny belt right there. I'm not happy about my money. So he snagged the belt, threw it in the trunk, and ended up many, many years later, Dan Lambert has it now. So,
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, it's really, I like to try to, he doesn't do a lot of stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool to get him on to just talk about the belts, his belts and everything. Like, the guy was like, oh, do you have the Road Warriors? You know, he has a national tag team, the Levy belts. And he's like, oh, the one with the cracked side plate. And Dan pulled it down, and sure enough, the cracked side plate was right there. I mean, it's
Wow.
really fascinating to watch and to see. And like he's very he likes the simplistic of the belts from the territory days, like not a lot to them and everything. And he's the one who got from Buddy Rogers the WWF, the first WWF championship that was the United States. He had that, and WWE came to him and wanted it, and I guess worked out a deal where he gets belts from them now or something like that, because he has one of the white leathered Intercontinental Championships. He has that.
Okay.
I know we've talked about. I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
same one, but he's talked about it. I think this one has a little texture in it than the other one, but he has so many belts from all the different territories. Like he was talking about, he had one from Peter Maivia's promotion out in Hawaii, and he's
Polynesian.
like, yeah, exactly. And he's like, I don't have any ties to this at all. And um, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was at his gym, and they were filming something for one of the reality shows that he was involved in years ago. And so he's like, you know what? This probably means more to you. Your grandfather's promotion gave him the belt, legit belt and everything. And so he gave it to The Rock because he's like, I don't have any ties to it. Because I grew up in Florida going to and he's um, he's like around 53, 54, somewhere in there, I think. So
Yeah,
he
close
grew
to
up
our
with
age.
the wrestling in Florida like we did.
Yep.
So it's all about Florida Championship Wrestling, Gordon Solie, Dusty Rhodes, Blackjack, Barry, all those guys. And he bought all the Florida belts. He has all them. Which he was saying, yeah, I bought it from one of the old referees, a friend of mine, which is, one of our friends that worked for me for years, was Bruce Owens. He was
Right.
a referee for Florida wrestling. And because I remember once Bruce was a referee, and you're like, I think you came up to me and was like, man, you got to do something. You got to get him out of there because he was messing up some matches. I think he was fucked up, like something was hurt, broke something on him, and I ended up pulling him out and putting other referees in. And but I'm like, wow, he's usually really good,
Yeah. That's what was so
So
surprising about it.
yeah, I think he was injured and didn't say anything or whatnot. Just like all the boys in the old days. And so it was a really I enjoyed the podcast, and you know what? I really just enjoyed looking at all the belts and everything, just kind of marking out for it.
Pretty
And
much.
yeah, that's what I cared about. And he was telling him, like, the guy was like trying to hinting around how much he's paid and stuff. He's like, it's not about. He says, I pay according to what it means to me. He's like, so he says on average, each belt is probably about $5 or $6 if you average them out. The most was he wanted the one that Magnum had, the big Mid South, that big North American Heavyweight
Yep.
Championship. And the guy knew that Dan had money, so he worked him on it, wanted like double the price it was worth. He was trying to get 40,000 out of him on it, and Dan's like, I was just pissed off at him because of that. And he says, looking back now, he said I should have done it because I always that was my belt I always wanted. And
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't do it because just the principle. He was trying to screw me, and so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, but I wish I did now. But he's like, most of them are about, on the average, like, 4, 5, 6,000. And I was just counting from looking there, and there must have been at least 150 belts that
Whoa.
I could see. Yeah.
That's
One
awesome.
time they used to be just stacked up. Now there's this is on he has like a built-in shelves all the way around the whole room. I guess an
Mm-hmm.
office or a den or something like that. And there's just belts everywhere. But he has in American Top Team, they have all the championship belts in big cases from UFC. It used to be Bellator, now it's PFL, and different Japan organizations. that what is the Japan one? Pride,
Pride.
I think, is over there, and they win it. They put up their little nameplate, when they won it and everything. So it was always cool going in there, just looking at the belts and stuff when Chase was over there busting his ass wrestling, practicing and
Yeah.
everything.
I
So,
want to
but
get
yeah, it's
the. That's awesome, and I think that. So what I'm gathering and what I'm sensing is that there is more of an appreciation now than ever before about the history of wrestling. Do you kind of sense the same thing? That was sort of what led you to want to start this podcast.
yeah, I believe so. Especially for me, yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, I don't hold any. I can't compare to you. You just remember vividly everything that happened in wrestling. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. So I had to go back and look at stuff and watch it and different things like that. But you like remember in detail stuff from the territory days that you might have been told by someone, which that's great and everything. I and that's why I was like, I have to have Kevin to do this podcast because I have to have someone who can pick up the slack and stuff that I don't know. So
Let's
it's I think it's a great little combination between the two of us.
Oh, it definitely works. We say hello to our friends who are currently in the chat room,
Oh
even
wow.
all the way enjoying a beautiful Monday in Australia is Southern Joe. So hello to everybody who is watching us
Hello
live.
around the world.
Yes,
Literally,
and
those are around the world. Those couple messages you just put up. I think we have Spain, we have Australia.
right, we've got
Um,
we've got New England in the northeast part of the United States. We've got somebody right here in PA, down the road from me, and we've got Joe down there in Australia. I know that there are other people watching. I'm sure that Chase Owens is checking us out because I told him I'd give him a little shout out after his Green Bay Packers got the win just a little bit ago over the Chicago Bears. Chase is, of course, competing in New Japan Pro Wrestling's World Tag League right now, which, by the
oh
way,
wow.
I'm not necessarily a belt. I would want to collect belts if I had the opportunity to
Hmm.
have beautiful piece of art. Yeah, absolutely, like that. What I'm kind of into are the Japanese trophies that they give.
Really?
That the
Wow.
G1, you're never going to get the G1 trophy, you
Right,
know,
right.
but if I could get a replica of the World Tag League, it's basically two hands that come together like this, and it's shaped like a piston on top. So it's like a
Yeah.
car engine, and you can take them apart, and each half is its own part of the championship trophy. Come on, man. It's awesome.
Wow.
But I mean, the G1 trophy is 4 foot high, and the
Wow.
New
Yeah, that's
Japan
cool.
Cup
Those are cool
trophy
too.
is almost as tall.
Yeah.
But that would be
Wow. I did a back in the MXPW days after. I don't think you were involved in this. I had a Florida J Cup.
oh, that's cool.
After, yeah, the the winner of it that year was you remember Jarrell Clark?
Sure do, Mr. 630.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a big. I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars because I'm like, you know what? You have to give out something legit,
Right.
and so I bought a big giant cup. It's really a really nice um, little piece for there. It
Mm-hmm.
was really cool. So yeah, I started that. It didn't last long, but it was nice to try. You know.
Sure. There were a lot of tournaments that didn't last. Like the Never Championship, for example, in Japan. Never is an acronym, and the
Oh,
New
okay.
Japan, they didn't. It's the only title that it was for a long time the only title that wasn't sanctioned by the International Wrestling Grand Prix,
Yeah.
IWGP. So it was a standalone title, Never, and it meant that this was going to be the new group, the evolution of the business. the next generation. This was going to be the young guys. This was going to be the future. And
Gotcha.
the first champion was Masato Tanaka, who was 39, and he beat somebody who was 41 to win the finals.
Oh, wow.
It was
Wow.
literally never what it was supposed to be. But those are
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about what's going on health-wise with our
Yes.
friends Joe Gomez and Bob Cook. And we have kind of the latest.
Even Bugsy McGraw has been down too. So I mean,
Ooh, okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
we've got we've got medical updates on our friends, and thankfully it's all good news. We'll be able to share that along.
yes.
But it, and I don't want to be like, because that was the first thing I was thinking about. We texted each other earlier today, and it was like, how's Bob Cook doing? And that was the first. He's been top of mind with me all week, and I don't want to become that show. But when our friends, when people that we've talked about, when we have guests and they're under the weather or not feeling well, we got to talk about it. And
Not like we're just talking about. Well, these are actually personal friends of of the show and ours that So we gotta.
Some podcasts will glorify, and I mean that in every term in which it is. They'll glorify the guys that get hurt. Like, oh, look at this. Like if somebody shows me, yeah, something like that. Or people will show me things on their phone, not knowing that it really bothers me. Like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, look at how he got dumped on his head. And I'm like, I don't want to look at that. But so again, as we get older, our friends, we've had a lot of friends die.
Yes.
How many wrestling? So I know Hack Meyer's passing was this past week, and Steve Bradley, who was super close to me. I was super close to him. I was thankful to have him in my life, and I think about Russ. Think about Russ Haas. All kind of happening around sort of the same time.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. It always happens in threes, and it's really true. Unfortunately, it just seems to always happen that way.
How many wrestling funerals have you been to?
You don't go to them.
I've never been to one either.
I went to Dave Johnson's because he's actually Chase's godfather. So, and we were out of touch. He was mad at me about I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't even know why. And it was stupid stuff, or promotional fights, because he started doing stuff with another promotion. And I was always like, you know what? If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. I always took care of everyone. I paid everyone. Everyone always got paid. Always got paid more than, I always took care of everyone. So I have no, so he got mad about something, and I don't know, maybe because I think I wrote him a check for his wedding, and the check bounced or something. But what do you expect from the boys? That was a long time ago,
Sure. And it happens.
But I wasn't the one that was running around naked at the reception like Hack Myers was, naked dancing.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, and I think Joe Kabibo, the Sheik, got in a fight and punched the father-in-law in the face.
What a good wedding.
Yeah, it was a great wedding. The wedding, we don't care about that, but after the fact,
the reception,
was incredible.
The reception was incredible.
It was great. Yeah, it was really.
I had Rockin' Randy Rhoads DJing my wedding. That was fun.
Oh, okay.
And all the wrestlers from the IWF were there. We had a great time. And the only drama that happened the whole night was with Randy himself. Because as we're cleaning up and taking everything, the gifts and everything that people had brought, and we're moving them out to our car, and we're getting loaded up and getting ready to head back to our apartment, Randy comes to me and says, hey, Kev, you think I could stay with you tonight? I'm like, what? No, it's my wedding night. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
What? Why? Well, Janina got mad at me, and and she left. Now, of course, he lived in Fort Pierce, 2 hours south of where we were in Orlando, and I was like, I'm sorry, you can't stay with me. You need to get
bro.
her on the phone. 1991. This was pre-cell phones. So, yeah, that's kind of how that goes.
Hey, you know who was at my wedding?
Who?
And he wasn't invited. And of course, mine had a ton of wrestlers there. And and you could tell who all was the wrestlers, and they all went to the bathroom out back to go smoke, smiz and everything, and come back in. But you remember Dr. Red Roberts?
Yes.
Yeah, from down with what's his name? What's the Olympian? Was with Kevin Sullivan. Bob Roop. With Bob Roop, Dr. Red Roberts, and all that stuff. Yeah, he ended up coming to my wedding with a guest with one of my friends who lived in Vero Beach, right next to Fort Pierce.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like I'm like, oh shit, wow, it was funny. But speaking about funerals, you know who does go to a lot of funerals? One of the wrestlers.
Who?
Is D'Lo Brown.
Really?
Like, they go to all the funerals. Like, oh, so we got to go. And I'm like, I'm like, no, I don't know. It's just not my thing. And also, one thing, and this talking about, I know I'm going backwards now, but it just popped in my head. And what I've learned a little bit about watching the history of wrestling and belts and stuff, and I noticed that old WWF, and old NWA all had like a championship belt that they was sanctioned by them, but it was always in Japan.
Sure.
I think it was never defended. It was only defended in Japan. Like WWF had a belt that some weird international junior.
Well, Tatsumi Fujinami. Tatsumi Fujinami was the WWF International Champion, and he beat. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Spanish wrestler. I'll think of it. Wasn't Johnny Rods. It wasn't Jose Luis Rivera. I'll think of it. Anyway, Fujinami won the belt. And, well, again, because WWF and New Japan had a relationship.
Yeah.
There's archive footage on New Japan World of Vince Sr. doing the ring announcing, making a special proclamation before a match. So that was all like a big deal back in the day. They all did business with each other and came up with cool little ways to intertwine just to make what they were doing seem bigger than it was.
Yeah. Making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Right. Well, that was that was what some promotions did.
Yeah. So I bid it on eBay. I look, and sometimes I'll find a belt I like. I had 3 of them that was on auction that I've been bidding on, and I've been winning for like 5 days. And I just realized that all of them, I lost all the auctions because they all ended right when we were starting the show. But one of them was the IWGP Intercontinental Championship belt.
Okay. So that was the one that Shinsuke Nakamura he was the most famous champion.
With the white leather?
Yeah. And that was what it was called. It was called the white belt. Didn't start out as the white belt. First, it was just black leather. First champion was MVP. And
he was always a big Japan mark. That's all he cared about in his career, because MVP started with me down in Florida
as Antonio Banks.
Hassan Hasid is his name.
Oh gosh. And, I never knew that. I never knew his real name. I just always knew him as whatever his gimmick was.
A lot of people don't. He worked at a strip club right down the street from my strip club where I worked at. He used to come hang out all the time. He used to travel with me and Dave Johnson all through Florida, and then he started going. He moved to Georgia to go to Deep South, and then just kind of worked his way up. It's good. Good for him. But he was always he wanted to wrestle the strong style. That's what his passion was, and it wasn't good. Sometimes the strong style just didn't relate over here because some guys here would just go over. It just wasn't good stuff, and um, so I think I had him wrestle Steve Madison once. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you were there. Steve Madison broke his ankle that
that's right.
match, and but
So
I don't even know if
here's
the
the
match
thing:
even.
you and Chase, right? You and Chase tomorrow could have a quote unquote strong style match because you both know how to work. It's a
Right,
work. You're not supposed to really hit each other, right?
right,
It's the fire. It's fighting up from underneath. It's
right.
not, it's puffing your chest out and saying, "Give me your best shot," but then
Yeah,
not really getting someone's best shot. That's not the point. You
right.
idiots. I did go to one funeral, by the way. I do remember that, and
Oh, did you?
that was Russ Haas's funeral. But see,
Oh, okay.
and then I saw Terry Golden there because Terry Golden ran Memphis Championship Wrestling,
Oh, wow.
and Jerry Lawler had recommended that we move developmental operations to Memphis so that he could be there, he could work there, and he could help out
He get
and
another payday.
get another payday, which is fine. Who cares?
Yeah,
If it
hey,
helps, it helps.
sure.
And Stacy could go, the cat, she could be there and she could get some more seasoning and some more matches, which she did, which
Get a
was
payday.
fine.
Yeah.
And a payday, which is again totally fine, don't care. Um,
Anytime it comes with Memphis with those people, though, it is what it is, and a payday.
right. Then as soon as Memphis Championship Wrestling got established, and I was kind of helping a lot more than with the others because Terry Golden was sort of by himself. Terry Golden had run a Outlaw promotion, which really was an Outlaw promotion. It
Oh,
was
wow.
called Kick Ass Wrestling, and its main goal was to spoof the Memphis legends like Bill Dundee and Jerry Lawler.
Oh,
That
that's funny.
was it, and it
Wow.
somehow got on TV. I don't
Oh,
know how
wow.
they did it, but it was violent outlaw wrestling, and it was like they packed this New Daisy Theater. They would just put like
Really?
700. They drew like 750 people because it was wild,
Wow.
hardcore,
Yeah.
uh, fun and games, bullshit outlaw wrestling. But they worked their asses off and they drew
Wow.
good. Anyway, so Terry folded that and started Memphis Championship Wrestling, which was the developmental group, and everything's going along just fine. And then all of a sudden, Lawler goes, I just don't think Terry Golden is working out. And JR pulled the plug on it. And the reason is, and I said it to his face, I said, Jerry, it's now that Kick-Ass Wrestling is dead, there's nobody goofing on you and Dundee anymore. Now you can put Terry Golden out of business. So anyway, Golden held me
Yeah.
responsible for it. I don't know how or why, but Terry was mad at
Really?
me. Yeah,
Oh,
it's one of those things that happens, right? Dave Johnson mad at
right, right.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I go to Russ's funeral, and of course, Haas Brothers had wrestled in Memphis, and in fact, he was, had been a part of it. And Terry and I hadn't spoken in a while, and we saw each other at the funeral, and I tried to kind of bury the hatchet with him there, and it didn't
Still
go
mad.
over that well. He was
Oh,
still
wow.
mad. And we never spoke.
Wow.
We never spoke again after that. And
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, I don't need to go to any more funerals.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just want to remember the people of how they were,
Right.
and that's it. And I never had the
Hmm.
desire. No, there would be some that I would go to. And I don't want to name names because that would be maudlin. But
Right, right.
we'll put it this way, Casey, when I die, would you go to my funeral? And the answer had better be no.
No.
Exactly.
You just
Exactly.
want me because you don't want to come all the way down to my funeral if I die. You don't want to feel obligated. Yeah,
Well,
I got you figured
yes,
out.
of course.
No, I mean, if something happened to you, probably yes, because our wrestling relationship has grown more into than
Yeah, I
just a
know.
wrestling friendship. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So
Well, it would be It'll be a
But I'll see if
long
I can get
time
some
from now.
trans. I'd ask your wife for trans money, though.
Hey, wait a minute. No. There's not going to be envelopes handed out at the end of my ceremony. I can tell you that.
Oh, man, come on.
It doesn't work like that.
And you're probably going to have the MGM, WCW MGM cater in there, too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. So here's an idea that I was So here's the idea that I was thinking of. I don't know if you saw the news, but Vince Russo is a prominent featured character again and is the writer for Juggalo Championship Wrestling, JCW.
I heard about that.
And the show JCW Lunacy, and it airs on YouTube. And I've watched the last few episodes, and it's a fine wrestling program. There's name wrestlers galore on this show. I mean, gosh, they've got Kerry Morton.
I saw that match.
Yeah, they're doing some good things with him. He wrestled, James Storm.
Yeah, I watched that match. Yeah,
that was good. Yeah, so
yeah.
But anyway, I was thinking well, first of all, they need baby faces to turn the tide against evil Vince Russo. You know what I mean? So who's it going to be?
Yeah.
But I thought, of all places, that might be the perfect setting for the return to wrestling of Eddie Mansfield.
Oh, wow.
I was just sort of like, not necessarily connecting the dots, because there is no connection between them.
Right.
But if you wanted to bring out controversy, they did it with Vince Russo. And then the next layer could be somebody like an Eddie Mansfield.
Sure.
Or, and then
who's after from back in the day.
Exactly. Who's this next layer? And who was this guy that got blackballed? And you basically assemble this murderer's row of heels that would be mouthpieces. Sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't, type of thing. But it would be like, man, that would be interesting. And I would watch that, because I know it's going to be a shoot, and I don't know what's going to come out of so-and-so's mouth next.
Right.
And it's not like they're looking for a job, but this would be the perfect setting for them to come in to this is the ultimate outlaw wrestling. But it's, they're doing a good job with it. They're doing a good job of presenting this outlaw. My wife looked at it for a couple of seconds, and Dory looks at it, and she says, it looks like a fun house. It looks like carnival wrestling, crazy with the ring, way it's all. Anyway, I wanted to say that publicly, because that's one of those things that if I put it into the universe, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah. And just think of all the content, the show content for Jim Cornette, if that would happen too.
Well,
you'd have Russo and Mansfield to talk about.
I know it. Which, by the way, would be another reason to do it, because Cornette has a pretty sizable audience.
Oh, I think he's like the top guy, right?
Yeah. I don't know what the numbers would be.
Push him a little, but hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fighting up from underneath.
Yeah.
But that would be, I mean, why not?
Why not at least run shows at?
I think, they seem to tape like a bunch in one location. So they were most recently in Denver.
Is that where that was?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's where they're going to tape all the time. It looked like a pretty neat setup for them.
Yeah,
small ring, small venue, people kind of tied up against it.
Right. Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, your wife was right that the ring apron looked like your old strip club with the black of the neon things on it. Like it reminds you of going to a casino in Vegas.
Yeah,
their carpet and everything.
It was wild, right?
Yeah,
and that's all part of.
I was going through, and I stopped, and I'm like, oh wow, what's this? And I was like, oh, Juggalo, okay.
It's all part of the visual art that the Insane Clown Posse has brought. You think about their
Yeah.
icon, right? Their logo. I think most people have seen that logo. They may not be able to say what it is, but they've probably seen that little guy, the little logo.
Yeah.
And they sell a lot of merch, and they sell a lot of art, and they sell a lot of music. And, they still do good business. But anyway, I just wanted to
Have you ever been on one of those gatherings? They're big.
No.
Oh, they're
Did you
crazy.
go?
No, I have a lot of friends that have.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's gonna be a long weekend.
You'd wrestle at like 3:00 in the morning. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
But
I remember Warlord went to it once. He's like, "Whoa, brother."
yeah, they showed a match with the Young Bucks. It was from 2013 against a Midwest team. They wore masks. I can't remember what their names were, and Young Bucks were down, which was surprising to me. They obviously got paid. Yeah, and they come in and they put the local team over. But yeah, it was like in Cave in Rock, Illinois, or whatever that town is.
Oh wow.
You can't get to it from here. But yeah, interesting,
exactly.
fascinating stuff. All right, so let's get into the kind of the medical update, if we shall. And of course, the first news that I saw was, and I wasn't sure if this is here's a point from Scott, which I agree with. Right, I'd support ICP before I'd support AEW or WWE at this point. You know why? You keep beating your head against the wall. Let's try something new. Let's.
Hey, did you see Tony Khan might be in a little bit of trouble? Did you see that
with Sarah?
The big merger that's might happening.
Well,
that might be happening.
Okay, my understanding of it is that yes, Netflix has put a bid in to buy Warner Brothers. Okay, but it's the movie and not the TV.
Oh, okay.
So they would still.
Oh, they're
AEW
buying like
would
the
still
Turner home movie thing. Yeah,
kind of, yes.
Yeah.
AEW could potentially have two bosses out of this. They would have the who's their current Warner Brothers. That would still be. They would still control the television networks, and then Netflix might control the umbrella, kind of like TKO and WWE. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Anyway, it's big business. It's a multi-billion-dollar thing. Paramount's put out a $50 billion cash offer. It's like, what?
Wow.
It's big business.
I've seen people talking about it like, what's he going to do? Is he going to buy his own station? Or is he going to just go straight to YouTube, cut the budget down, and which still would be a big budget, and
Sure.
people are like him on YouTube slash down would be more profitable probably.
Oh, definitely would be, but
I think that's the way. I think that's the way the landscape is going. Is just streaming.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't watch TV at all.
No.
Never.
When you look at
in years, I haven't.
So TNA just signed. Excuse me. AMC is going to begin starting in January. They're going to be airing TNA wrestling, and
really?
So congratulations to TNA. They told everybody they were going to get a TV deal. They got a TV deal.
Wow.
So they're going to be part of the AMC cable network. Excuse me. I don't know who
That's a
owns
big outlet.
It is. But I always thought of it as of course it's now not American Movie Classics anymore. It's just AMC.
Yeah, like old people movie channels. I always thought it was.
Yeah. And so I don't know who owns AMC.
Right.
Like what their parent company is. I'm coughing and I don't know why, damn it. Because it's so freaking cold.
Is it cold there?
Brother. It's like 20, it's like 10 to 20 degrees below average. And it has been for a week and is going to continue through another week. Like tomorrow, the high is going to be 30 and the low tomorrow
it's 64
night.
here right now.
Beautiful. And the low
It's
tomorrow
raining,
night
though.
here is 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
64 there, though. I'd like
Woo.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, 64. It started raining late last night into today. And, yeah. Well, I was able to get out, and I had to send some packages, so, watch your mail. Yeah, Christmas is coming,
Yay.
The In-Ring Wrestling Podcast Christmas party. So
Well, that's good.
it comes through the mail Thursday.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much in advance. Speaking of, okay, so I do want to touch on this real quick before we give the medical update about our friend Bob Cook. College football has now entered a very interesting time because of the most recent college football playoff announcement, which
Oh, wow.
was made noon Sunday, and the committee, which is controlled by ESPN and the Southeastern Conference. Okay.
Wow, that's strange, isn't it?
Well, what business have we worked in our whole lives? Nothing seems strange to us, but to the people that are
true.
college football fans, especially Notre Dame fans today, they are ripshit. They're fuming.
Oh, really?
Because Notre Dame got screwed. So Notre Dame all year long has been a great team. They lost their first 2 games of the season. They lost their first game to Miami, and then they lost to Texas. And they didn't lose since then. And both of the games were very close in score. Team got better as the season went along, and by the end of the year, they're one of the best teams in the country. They were higher ranked than Miami. They were higher ranked than Alabama. Lo and behold, 2 weeks
they
ago,
didn't make the playoffs. I take it.
Nope. 2 weeks ago, the rankings come out, and here's the Fugazi right here. Alabama played against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, looked crappy, won, but Auburn's a rotten team this year. Notre Dame didn't play, Miami didn't play because that was their schedule. And Alabama jumped ahead of Notre Dame. Everybody should have seen the work right there, because here it comes. So then Alabama goes to the SEC. It's all about the money, brother. But they may have, this is risky. Because Notre Dame can be, if it wanted to, it can be its own universe. This would be like if you had a wrestling tournament. We're going to have all the best pro wrestlers in the world, and we got commitments from every company. Even the WWE, yes. And then you leave the WWE champion out of the tournament. Well, what's WWE going to do? Well, screw you guys. We're not going to play in your sandbox anymore. I'll make my own tournament. Notre Dame. Gosh. Okay, so college football has, the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, and they're tied into the playoff. So, like the quarterfinal, semifinal games, you go to the Sugar Bowl to play, or the Orange Bowl. Wow. It's kind of neat, right? But there's a whole lower tier, the Peach Bowl and the Sandbox
Citrus
and the
Bowl.
Citrus Bowl and the Duke's Mayo Bowl, Pop-Tarts Bowl, whatever. And Notre Dame said, yeah, screw you, ESPN. We're opting out. We ain't playing. Because they talked to their players a couple of weeks ago when the Alabama screw job came through. And they said, hey, boys, if they pull one over on us, do you guys want to play in a college football bowl or what? And they were like, if we're not playing for the money, if we're not playing for the championship, we don't want it. And so that's what happened. So Notre Dame gets screwed out of the playoff, and they opted out. Not only that, 5 other teams have opted out, including Florida State.
Really?
Now, part of it is I don't think Florida State wanted to play another game because them and 3 other teams that were 5 and 7 all said, thanks, but no thanks. We're moving on to next year. We've got to, we've got to get better. We want that season to forget it. But now
it's funny. They're either really great or they suck.
Yeah, that's the way it's been. They were 13-0 a couple of years ago. They got hosed out of the playoff because their quarterback broke his leg. And, So anyway, now Notre Dame knows.
So the quarterback broke his leg, and so even though they had a winning season, they said, "No."
Even though they were undefeated, won the ACC,
wow,
and won with a backup quarterback. They'd won twice with a backup quarterback. We think that it would be that they're not the same team. What a work is right.
Is Vince involved in this, I wonder?
Who?
Did Vince go into football again?
So Notre Dame is big enough on its own, Casey Thompson, that if they said, you know what if we started our own thing? And we could get on NBC because NBC airs Notre Dame home games. And if any teams wanted to be part of the NBC league,
Notre Dame both.
The Notre Dame basically will Vince Sr., Vincent J. McMahon, Toots Mondt, they could not get dates on Buddy Rogers. They couldn't get dates on him as the NWA champ. So you know what they did? They made their own champ, and that's where Bruno came from.
And that's where we're at today.
That's where we're at today. You couldn't get in.
Watch out, Notre Dame.
You make your own. I'm just telling you folks, because I'm reading all of these comments, and it's like, you people are marks. And I'm like, bless their hearts, though. They're not, their brains aren't wired the way ours are. If you read the story, you would say the exact same thing I'm saying.
Right.
Oh, yeah. This is such a work. And now they're just going to run opposition. That's all we're talking about.
Still drawing 80,000 people.
Yeah, except Notre Dame isn't an outlaw group. They're Notre freaking Dame.
Yeah, exactly.
Touchdown Jesus. They got more money than everybody. And they'll do it. And they'll have all the credibility in the world for doing it because you could see what was done to them in public, if you will. Anywho. So
that's
just,
I'm glad
I want everybody to keep their eye on
not the only one with drama.
No, it's constant. My friend Sarah Stock, who I love and had the pleasure of working with her in AEW. I want everybody to make sure you're reading what she's writing on Twitter, on X, because there's a lot of interesting information that she is putting out. She's making claims and she's naming names. And when you do something like that, you have either like a death wish and you don't care, or you have the truth on your side.
Right. You have proof.
If you want to sue me, go right ahead. I welcome the opportunity. Yeah, I welcome the opportunity.
Yeah. What is she saying?
Ooh. Well, she's talking about basically a dysfunctional society that has exploited and mistreated women and Hispanic wrestlers by forcing, in the case of the Mexican wrestlers, forcing them to stay in the country between Dynamite and Collision tapings and then only going home for like a day before having to come back to do the next week of AEW. So they're staying.
It has to do with visas, though?
No, it has to do with cost. And, they don't get a per diem. There's things that she's bringing up, which may or may not be factual. I have no idea.
She's not with AEW no more, I take it.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
And she talks about HR and talks about dysfunctional, kind of the mistreatment and the blackballing of some women that have been there in the company.
Well, didn't whatchamacallit gotten kind of on the outs?
Which one? Britt Baker. Yes, but she's still under contract. She's still getting paid.
Right, but isn't she kind of? Didn't she say something that put her on the outs or something for a while
Yeah.
now, right?
Tony said at a meeting right in front of me that he was mad at her for going on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, and knocking the company while Adam Cole was hurt. Adam Cole broke his ankle, broke his foot, broke his leg, whatever it was, and then was out there hobbling around the next week. And she said something about it publicly, voicing her displeasure as his girlfriend. And
okay.
Tony said, I am mad at her. Those are exact words. I am mad at her for what she said.
Like, good God, am I in high school again or what?
Yeah. I'm like, my first thought was, well, what would Vince do? This is what I said a lot there. What would Vince do?
What would Vince do? Exactly.
Vince would bring her back and would make money. But he kept her home and still continues to keep her home and pay her. Anyway.
She's a shoot dentist too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shoot
so
dentist.
She probably goes to work and makes a living and gets paid again.
Yeah. She has a career. Dental.
Wow.
She's a dentist, not a hygienist or a.
Yeah, she's the top dog.
She's the one who she comes in at the end and pokes your teeth a little bit after the hygienist has cleaned them.
Money. Yeah, yeah.
And
I wonder how many people went up to her and said, "Oh man, my tooth hurts," or this or that. Or
how many of the boys
looked at anyone? People, yeah, because the boys are going to do it. They're going to exploit anything possible.
Not anymore. I'm telling you,
are you
Casey.
Serious? What's wrong with these guys nowadays?
The business has changed. Nobody knows how to get over.
Phone, play my video games.
Nobody knows how to work anymore. I'm telling you. Wow. The boys in our day, they would have been lined up around they'd have been getting Novocaine shots just because.
Oh, yeah. Can you write me a script? How many of the boys would you... Imagine if she's in ECW. Hey, can you write me a script? My tooth hurts.
My tooth.
Some Roxy's. Oxycodone, everything.
Oy vey.
Oh my gosh.
And so they don't know how to work anymore.
I'm glad I'm not in the business no more because they're very disappointing.
They are very disappointing. I know these kids today. But anyway, so Sarah has been writing some pointed things, and I think it's worth reading them with an open mind and just following the story because I have no reason to think that she would have a reason to lie. I always found her to be a very honest, straightforward person, very clear-minded, sober-minded, and smart. So I'm interested to see where all of this goes.
She has made comments because we've talked about her and she's liked it and this and that. So, Sarah, if you'd like to come on and talk about it, 8 o'clock on Sunday nights.
I'll reach out to her. I'll try to set that up.
Why not? Sure.
She's awesome. Are you kidding me? She's one of the top people I've ever worked with in the business in terms of just like,
wow.
When you're around, you're just like, okay, this is somebody that gets it on every single level and sees the big picture at all times.
And she's never, a girl. Right.
Yeah, never is a mark.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right. Never is a mark for a moment, but will recognize the moment as being, this is what we want to work toward. Wow. Let's not settle. Nice. Let's not settle for here. Let's get to here, but let's get to here smartly and safely. So that's what set her apart in my mind. Anyway, so the medical update about our friend Bob Cook, who just before, right around Thanksgiving, put up on Facebook that, we saw the IV in his hand, and I wasn't sure what he was getting at. I thought maybe it was like he was saying something happened to his heart.
Because he's always talking about dying and this and that. Always, But that's just Bob. That's just how Bob is. Mm-hmm. And I shot him a text. I said, "Hey, bro, you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, man." I did see another post where he had a heart attack. He says, "My lifestyle he lives," and I'm sure he's referring to the Mountain Dew that he drinks compulsively. Right. And then I guess the next day or so they had to go in and put a stent in for some blockage or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I shot him a text and I'm like, hey bud, I say, hey, buddy, I just want to make sure you're okay. How you doing? And, and he's like, he said, I'm all right. I'm doing better now. He says, I just got released. I just got home from the hospital. This was a couple days afterwards. So he was at the hospital for a couple days. He says he's doing better. So I every couple of days I'll check in and say, hey, buddy. And I said, listen, is there anything you need or anything I can do for you? Please just, let me know. I'm, here. He's like, I really appreciate it and all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's on the mend. So, which is good. So, but, I'm sure he still needs your, thoughts and prayers and good wishes and, you know, whatever you believe or
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
Bob
So,
is
but,
very active. Bob Cook is very active on Facebook. And he's
yes.
also a huge Evel Knievel fan.
Oh, he
Motorcycle
was friends with
Daredevil,
Evil Knievel.
friends
Yeah.
with him, has Facebook pages set up for him. So,
He used to always wear this gold nugget watch. I don't think it even worked. And it was Evil Knievel in it.
yeah,
And we'd always I would always say, I'm not going to freaking steal your watch. You better not touch my watch, Yeah, that whole kind of, thing. So, and he actually watches and comments on our show a lot.
he does. He
He was
does.
in the chat.
I know.
Man, was it last week?
A couple of weeks. It was right before he got sick.
Yeah, it was like maybe we gave him a heart attack. Our show did or
I
something.
don't know what you said to him. I don't know what you did, but you obviously did
Yeah.
something to make the poor man upset. Look at where he is
Yeah.
now, the state that he's in.
Yeah, but hopefully he's on the rise and he's making the big comeback, ready to
Right.
make that hot tag and get back with everything.
And
So
of course, Bob has been a guest here on the show. Somebody that hasn't been a guest yet, but we were planning on him being a guest is
yeah.
somebody that you may remember from, WCW. He was always kind of there in the early mid 90s.
2000s.
And it was, yeah, 2000 and on Joe Gomez.
Yeah.
Now, tell
Yeah,
us,
'cause
okay, so fans may
yeah.
not know who Joe Gomez is. Tell me his story. Tell us his relationship to the business. Was he family
Okay.
with somebody? How did he get in?
No, he just a Tampa guy, just got in the business and I remember when I was doing TV for WCW in the 90s, he was up there as Iron Allen Eagle and he was the wheelman for Flair and it was pretty much Flair, Arn, Bobby Eaton, and Pee Wee, and Joe was the guy who had to go get the beers, put them on ice, and had to do the driving and everything, and just friends and knows anybody at the Performance Center, all the way through buddies with Johnny Ace, and you name it, everyone knows Joe Gomez.
Right.
Literally, I was sitting at a club one night with Joe in the VIP section, and we're talking and everything and he's like, yeah, this is my buddy Jose, and we're talking for 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, I know Jose from Tampa, this and that. Then I was realizing it was Jose Canseco that was
Yeah.
sitting there talking for 20 minutes with. Super nice guy to me, probably because I
Yeah.
knew Joe, but if I didn't know him, he has a twin brother as an asshole, but Jose Canseco, he was a really cool guy. I mean, everyone knows Joe. So we were just talking about having Joe on the show. This is back in right before October and like September.
Yeah.
I called Joe. I'm like, hey, Joe. He's like, hi. I'm like, man, I see you fucked up. Like, thought he might have been drinking because, the big Indian has like a very slow tolerance for, anything. He doesn't really drink a lot. If you drink a beer or two, he's like, oh, wrecked. He's like, no, I just had a stroke. And I'm like, whoa. He's like, yeah, I just had a stroke, like yesterday, day before. I'm like, why are you answering the phone? I said, are you doing okay? Yeah, everything's good, man. I love you. I'm going to come on your podcast soon and this and that, all this. And I text him. I called him a couple times after he didn't answer. And it could be because maybe he's, has issues talking now or so. I don't know. I don't know what the whole story is.
Right.
But then on Facebook, one of the old WCW, WWF referees, Billy Silverman,
Yes.
put a picture of, hey, prayers for, Joe Goldsmith as he's recovering from stroke. And I'm like, Billy, I said, did he have another one? Or he's like, oh, well, Rick told me that, I guess he's seen Rick out at the Starcast or whatever the Thanksgiving thing is. And he's referring to that one, but was just putting it out there and everything. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I've been texting Joe a lot, and he's like, yeah, this was Friday. He's like, I said, hey, Joe, man, how you doing? I said, yeah. He said, I'm actually just got home from the rehabilitation center he's been staying at since I talked to him the last time. He was
Wow.
in a rehab the whole time. So, but he says, yeah, man. He says, I'm doing better. I'm just got home, and Joe is best friends with Ric Flair, and he's like, yeah, Nate. Oh man, he's gonna want to stay out all night, and all kinds of stuff. He's like, I go hang out with Nate and do this and all that stuff, and he was when Kevin Sullivan was going through well, everyone knows about it. Kevin Sullivan was going through that whole things with Nancy Woman, where they're going through a divorce and all that, which was very publicized on WCW TV with Chris Benoit and everything.
Yeah.
Kevin Sullivan was living with Joe Gomez at his place in Tampa, and was his roommate, and he let him stay with him and everything. So I mean, he knows everyone. Super, super nice guy. I remember the one time first time I sat down and talked to him, and I'm thinking afterwards, I said, this guy's like the nicest guy I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
No one's that nice.
I know.
I said, either he's full of shit or he's the nicest guy ever in my life. I swear to
Right.
God. And
Yeah.
I've told him this a million times, like, nah, bro. He's in so and it happens to be that's him. He's just the nicest guy in the world.
I've never heard anybody
And
say something bad about Joe Gomez unless out of jealousy because of who he was hanging with or whatever. But
yeah, and I'll be like talking. And Joe has some times where he was down his luck. He got into some stuff and went away for a few years, like 2 years down in prison. I was his only friend that could go see him. So this is when Chase was in the car carrier. I would go down to the Miami down prison down in Miami and go see Joe. So I have a really close relationship with him because I would go and he would call me like, hey man, bring me some Copenhagen and a blue bandana and this, and just throw it by Chase's diaper and I'll get it out and everything. So I mean, Chase would go into prison when he was in the car carrier
nice.
to see one of the wrestlers.
Uncle Joe.
But yeah, and he's been to my house and went and had went to pizza places with with my kids and everything, and we're talking about weight, and he's like, it's like, Joe, man, you gotta, he's like, I'm trying to get back in the gym, and then I said, you gotta lose some weight. It's like, yeah, Case, he says, you know how we like to eat, he loves to eat, and so, and he told me, he's like, whatever you do, he says, please, whatever you never listen to me anything, but please make sure you look out for your blood pressure. He said that's what got him on his stroke was the blood pressure and everything.
Right.
So, but he's on the men's too, and the way I was brought it up, the way I came up to it was my other friend of ours, Bugsy McGraw. Bugsy kind of just disappeared for like a while. I would call him and talk to him all the time, and then text him and nothing. And apparently he lost all of his phone numbers.
Oh.
And during that time, he had got a bacterial infection, and they had to self-induce a coma. And he was in a coma. He was in the hospital for 6 weeks. And I called him once. He answered the phone, and he's like, I said, hey, how's going? Oh, I'm better. I just got home from the hospital. I had, I think he had a stroke too.
Ooh.
A little mini stroke, and it caused all kinds of stuff.
Much more common in older. So Bugsy's
He's 81 years old.
81.
81 years old.
So
yeah,
you have a TIA,
yeah.
as they're called, little mini strokes, trans ischemic something.
Yeah.
But when you're Joe
We don't know that
Gomez's
stuff.
age and you have a stroke, it's usually much bigger a deal. So
Right.
that's
Right.
kind of like the
So,
two ends of it.
and that's how I was talking to um Bugsy about it. So I called Joe, and that's how I found out Joe had one. And I was like, oh, so and Bugsy, he's doing. Last I was with him a few weeks ago on his birthday, 81 years old. He was using a walker, zooming around and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
sharp as a tack. I mean, um, just he's a wealth of knowledge, and it's just and he doesn't. If he likes the guy, he'll tell you. If you didn't like him, he'll tell you that too. He's not shy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing good too. So and he's so it's very sad this thing's happened to people, but I guess it's just part of growing old in life and this and that. I guess whatever you can do,
Yeah.
you do what you can for it never happens, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it in the end. If
Right.
it's meant to happen. So but all of them are doing better, and they're making their big comeback right now, I guess.
Good.
So,
Well,
which is great.
we definitely want to get down. I know I want to get down and meet Bugsy.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
would love to like us sit down with him, three of us mic'd
sure.
up, camera,
Yeah.
and let's just talk.
Just talk. Yeah,
Let's ask him
exactly. Oh,
questions because I think people would find it fascinating. I know I would.
yes.
And
And there's not many guys around anymore.
right,
There's very, very few of them around that has that knowledge and the stories he has from, San Francisco, you know, Joe, all those guys, all the territories. He's really, really big in Canada in the day. He's like one
yes,
of the top stars, not even wrestlers, just stars in Canada. And he's wrestled all the territories. Was really good friends with Dusty, and he's been to everything that we all watched and loved growing up. Those are all the territories he was in, and it's
right.
just it's
It
just
would
awesome.
seem it would
So
seem weird when you'd see Bugsy McGraw pop up in another territory, but like he was there in Memphis, and I was like,
right,
huh? Or you would see him like I was psyched when he was on like the Starcade card and not kind
posters
of
hanging
knowing,
in his Yeah, posters hanging in his apartment, his
yeah,
condo.
not knowing how the business was changing with Crockett, with his Booker becoming Dusty, and Dusty, and of course, loved Bugsy McGraw and was going to and continued to use him, had him all the way through. Anyway, we need to make sure that we do that. So, shopping list, we need to make sure that we're down there to see Bugsy.
Yep.
And when Joe is feeling good
Right.
and comfortable with it, let's get him on so we can obviously talk to him and
Yeah,
introduce
he's
our
got a
audience to
lot of
him.
great stories too. A
Yeah, are
lot of
you
great
kidding?
stories.
It'd be amazing. And
Yeah.
we'll get Bob Cook back on so that he can give us the
Yeah.
medical update about how he's on the straight and narrow now and he's off the Mountain Dew.
Well, we'll see. I don't know 100%, but
All right, I
we'll
need
have to
you to help
find
me with
out from.
this. Last thing I want to do here, Kevin. Thoughts on these three wrestlers? Number one, Obafemi. Number two, Ethan Page. Number three, Kendall Gray. I don't know Kendall Gray. Do you know who Kendall Gray is, Casey?
Negative.
Okay. Obafemi's.
Kendall Windham, yes.
Yes, Kendall Windham. Yes. Jerry
Yeah.
Gray. Yes. But Kendall Gray, no.
Yes. Sorry.
Obafemi, star, mega money, superstar, looks incredible, menacing, everything that you would want in a star has it, just moves,
Oh wow.
exudes, coming out of his pores, just it.
Right.
Ethan Page is somebody that I have literally known 12, 14 years and has for a long time was kicking around. Casey, this guy was forever trying, knocking at the door, and got in better shape, just elevated his look. but didn't really change that much about him. And he doesn't age, which is another good thing. He doesn't look like he's been wrestling for 15 years, 20 years at this point. He looks the same, but damn if they didn't just take to him, and now all of a sudden, he's a top guy in NXT. And
oh, wow.
yeah,
Good
and
for him.
he just stuck with it. Persistence, patience, never gave up.
Yeah.
Was in AEW for quite a while. And
I thought he was, yeah.
Did some things, did some stuff. And then when I was there, he was trying to get reestablished. And he was like, I'll move to the Ring of Honor brand because I'd rather be the top guy in Ring of Honor than in the middle bottom of AEW.
We're
Brilliant.
going to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. And it looked like that was what was going to happen. And he had a match on TV with MJF that didn't really go anywhere. Then his contract ran out, and that was it. And was in TNA, and then got signed, and now he's in NXT, and he's killing it. So that's good. But I am going to have to look up Kendall Gray and see if I can find more about their work. So there you go.
Did you see who signed with WWE?
No, who?
You say his name, and he appears?
Beetlejuice? No, I know. Joe Hendry. Now,
yes.
I thought, okay, so I saw that just yesterday.
I love Joe Hendry.
He is great. I thought.
Yeah, I just like, because I literally get stuck sometimes. I get in that little rabbit hole of all the say his name and he appeared, and they used it for everything with NXT and all that when they're doing the crossover. And I think he's money. I think WWE could take it and make him a mega star if they do it the right way.
Yes.
And he would be. I think he's just. He's not the greatest worker in the world, but either was The Rock, either was Stone Cold.
Nope.
But they became mega stars.
I don't know how.
Have it.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't get is how is Joe Hendry like so super strong that he can, have two guys on him and people say, okay, sorry. I'm reading this and I should be putting it up on the screen. People say Kendall Gray is the female Kurt Angle in NXT. Well, I'm interested. She was an amateur wrestler. I'm interested. I'll definitely check that out. The thing with Joe Hendry is like
Kendall Gray?
Yeah.
Was her sister an Olympian, I wonder?
I don't know. I could probably Google
like
it.
6-time world champion. I think it was. Her sister was last name's Gray. I'm losing my mind. I'm so far out of the amateur wrestling realms.
Peyton?
But
her name is Peyton Prussian. She's Kendall Gray. She's a member of the No Quarter Catch Crew stable. She is currently the Evolve champion. 24 years old from Vegas.
I'm not the same one then.
She's legit. Next, she was in the NIL program, so good for her. And she just won the Iron Survivor Challenge, which is why she's top of mind and headline news. So yeah, obviously they see big things in her. And she has a legitimate shoot background, and that's pretty much what you want. And I do like the fact that the NIL program is paying dividends, not just for a little placeholder deal where they get a little bit of money and yes, they can, afford groceries and not starve to death. But at the same time that they're actively looking at it as a pipeline. Because time and time again, we would start things or have ideas for things, and Vince would lose patience or forget about it, and then all of a sudden never remember, like forget the conversation about starting this. Why are we doing this? Wow. So it's good. It's good to see that, again, athletes in this program, there's a path, there's a way forward.
I wish it was like that in my day.
You brother. You and I both.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what? So one of the shorts went up that it was talking about the rent-a-car that got destroyed, right? I told the story last week. So one of the guys that was in the rent-a-car calls me. Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, yeah. He's like, I'm like, yeah. I said, man, I said that trip cost me a lot of money. He's, what do you mean? No, it didn't. I'm like, yeah, it did. And I'm like, what do you mean? I said, future bookings. He's like, no, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I said, I was getting booked all the time. And then after that rent-a-car came back, the bookings stopped for many years. It stopped. He's like, oh, come on, you can't. I'm like, thinking in my head, I could have sued people over that for loss of future income because that's how it is. I lost future income because of a couple guys destroying a rent-a-car, the inside
Yeah.
of it.
Well, I think
It's
they
just
should
it
just
is what it is.
make good, and send you a check.
Yeah, that's not even the point I was getting at. It is what it is part of my story of wrestling. So it makes for a good story on a podcast. But but yeah, I did lose money because of they tore up my rent a car
Sure.
because I had no insurance because WWE paid for it.
Put it this way. If okay, if I was responsible for hiring the extras, as I was at one point, and word got back to me that a rental car that was in your name was destroyed, well, because I know you, first thing I would do is call you and basically say, what the F? And you would have to be honest with me and tell me who did it, so I would never book them
Right.
again. But if I couldn't give Bruce or JR or whatever a legitimate answer, you would be persona non grata. I wouldn't be
Oh
able
yeah.
to bring you to TV
Right.
because, oh, this is the guy that destroyed the rental car?
And it's
No,
not
it wasn't.
even because the rent-a-cars are in the boy's name. It just happened to be I was so young that they sent a voucher, so the car was in WWF's name.
Yes,
So it was their rent-a-car.
but
you know.
it changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we're renting cars and a car gets wrecked, it's going to be under the WWF's bill. They
Right.
So it would have been would have been presumptuous on my part to say, oh, there's no heat at all, Casey. Don't worry about it. Come on back. But yeah, of course. And I'm certainly going to leave you home long enough till people forget about it.
Oh yeah.
Which
Well, I
I
think
might
he's
say
just
3 months, but then turns into 6 because I get busy and distracted.
right, which
It's a
turns
lot of
into a
money.
year or two. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's just mad because he wrestled a double shot. He had one night off, so he gets paid. And then the second night he wrestled in a tag team match against the Nasty Boys. And so, and he was trained by a little by Jerry Gray, then Blackjack Mulligan, kind of polished him, finished him off, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you got to realize he was 6'9", like 330 pounds, right?
Wow.
And so he's wearing black, and like, oh, you can't wear black. What do you mean? You can't wear the same thing they're wearing, and they're over, so you have to change. She's like, I got nothing else. And one of my other buddies, I got something for you, a singlet. It was a half and half baby powder blue, half banana yellow. So he's wearing it, walking around. He's walking around. People are stopping him like, what the hell? Yeah. So, and then he goes up to the Nasty Boys. He's like, hey guys, TV and everything, let's lay it all in, make it look good. They beat the shit out of him.
I'm sure.
And he took it all and didn't say a word, went over afterwards, hey, thank you. And they're like, all right, cool, thanks, man, good job. Well, they said, man, I had shoe prints on my head that you could see like a week later.
Damn.
But he's like, hey, I told him to, so why not?
Right.
Oh,
that's awesome. All right.
And then we're driving back. And we're like, it's your turn to drive. Listen, we're on I-10. We're coming from Alabama. We're on I-10. When you come up to 75, you're on
Mm-hmm.
I-10 west. When you come to 75, go 75 south. Don't pass 75
Oh
because we
no.
live in Orlando. Don't pass 75 because you're going to end up on 95, and that's going to take us an extra hour, 2 hours out of the way because we had to circle back.
Yep.
He's like, I'm in the front seat sleeping, the two guys in the back, and he's like, Casey. I'm like, what? I think I fucked up. Like, what? And he's like, I'm in Jacksonville. And the guy in the back,
Oh,
you stupid. He's like, and I'm tired. We're like, nah, you're driving the rest. We made him drive the rest of the way home because we're like, you messed up. We could have been home.
yeah.
And so we made him drive the rest of the way and everything.
So you go
Like,
10,
we
10
still
east
talk
to
about,
95, 10 east to 95 south to come swing around and
yeah,
yeesh.
well, instead of 75 going the straight shot, we had to go 95 to the coast and circle back to the middle. So,
Bad
yeah,
job. Powder blue,
yeah,
banana.
so he was smizzing and not realizing what he was doing at all and just kept on driving, having the good time.
Well, there you go. All right,
Yeah.
Casey, I need to put a wrap on this thing because I got to get up bright and early. I got to be a
Oh, yes,
functioning
the
adult.
early morning. Yeah,
But we
work
covered
sucks, but, you got
I
to do it, I
know.
guess.
We covered a lot of ground. We
Yeah.
got a lot of good material out tonight in a short period of time, so I'm very happy with that. And we'll look to get some more medical updates on our friends, and we'll continue to spread positive news wherever we can and put people over and tell everybody who we think is great and bury the
Sure.
people that we didn't like, which is very few. Because we liked people and everybody kind of liked
Yeah.
us, so it was like, I don't have a problem with them. I don't have.
Yeah.
Nobody ever pulled
Why
a gun
not?
on me. Nobody ever beat me up. You know, you had a couple guns pulled on you.
Here and there. Little
Maybe
this, little that. But it's all good.
it's all good.
Half of them I don't
I want to hear
remember,
about
and,
that next week.
Yeah.
Life or death with Casey Thompson.
Yes, exactly.
All right, my boy. Well, thank you again so much. And thanks to all of you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thanks for everybody watching these on YouTube, where you can like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell as well, because when new content goes up from the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, you'll be the first to know. Don't you want to be first?
Right.
So make sure you're doing all of that, plus telling everyone you know, people you don't know. It's a great way to make friends. The In-Ring Wrestling Podcast. So for Casey Thompson, I'm Kevin Kelly, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy the new theme, the new entrance and exit music here, the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast.